Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato with you on another picture-perfect day here in Hollandale Beach. 57 minutes to the opener on a 9-race Thursday card here at Gulfstream Park. Samantha Perry will be back with me a little bit later on, but good stuff going on today. That Rainbow Six, we talk about this quite a bit, and yesterday was the prime example. We're up over $500,000 now, 525 in this estimated jackpot. But if you were with us yesterday, yesterday was a pretty formful day, yet when we got to the last race, there was actually a single to sweep this thing, upwards of $500,000. Again, that's an estimated jackpot. Obviously didn't come to fruition yesterday. It was a relatively formful sequence that paid somewhere in the, I think about 625 is what it paid. But the point being here, we're not at that stage where, this thing is not hittable now. We had relatively formful day yesterday, and there was a single ticket on a horse that actually ran second in the race and put a threat and a big scare into everybody. So kudos to whoever had it yesterday, but we'll be back today. And once we get over $500,000, it grows very, very quickly, and we're moving forward towards a big weekend here at Gulfstream Park as well. But get involved in this Rainbow because, like I said, it could pay a little bit as the wind kicks up here. And Ron Nicoletti will be back with us tomorrow. Looking forward to that. He's got a ticket a little bit later on today. Again, on this 9-race card, we are fast, we are firm. We're going to end this card with a tremendous optional claimer on the turf that has my best bet, and we'll get to that a little bit later on. But we're going to kick it off with the early pick 5 in the opener. And as I mentioned, that 1:10 p.m. first post, about 56 minutes away. Let's take a look at my ticket. I whittled it down. I thought this was a pretty tough opening leg. I started with with $72, and I wasn't going to play that, so I whittled it down a little bit. We'll go 4 deep in the opener. Race number 2 is going to have a strong favorite and looking for bargains. We'll take a look at that replay coming up. Race 3, the top pick is the 3, a ring thing, and that's the race where I shaved off the 4, Nana Fanny. In race number 4, we'll go 3 deep with the top pick, the 6, Take It South, off the claim for Bob Hess Jr. And in race number 5, 4 deep and a good one on the turf, a starter optional claimer on a firm turf course. Border Town on top for me, the 6, but it is a spread race going 4 deep in there. Show you a couple replays as well on what is a $48 early pick 4 ticket. Let's get into the opening leg now. There are not a lot of scratches or changes on the card, and of course Pete Aiello will be upstairs with them. I didn't lose anything out of my top 4 today, and that's always a good thing. I do want to take note the 1, Mi Amore, is going to be ridden by Jose Ortiz. David Egan is not here. They're very I thought David acquitted himself very nicely here in South Florida this winter. Nice kid. Hopefully we'll see him back here next year. He's already back riding the European circuit, but he did some good things, and he's a name to remember and to watch, especially if you're playing European racing here on the First Bet app. But let's get into the opener now, and I've got the 5 on top here. We're going to $170 on the Tapeta. These are fillies, 3-year-olds, $16,000 maiden claimers. My little secret, very slowly her form is going in the right direction for Julie Stormfeld. They haven't bet her in 2 starts, but I think both of her races, especially last time, yes, it was on turf, but this isn't really a barn that's going to crank them up on debut, so I'm not going to hold the Tapeta debut against her at all. And you just look at this race, and I feel like her races put her smack in the middle against a field like this. I like getting back to the Tapeta now. She seems a little bit of a better filly. I like the post as well. She's got some tactical speed to work with. And, the price should be solid enough to come along, too, because I don't really want a short number on anybody in here. The morning line favorite is the 2, Spirit of Victory. And, she's going to stretch out on the Tapeta for the first time. Steve Claceres had a nice day yesterday. He won the opener yesterday. And Spirit of Victory, certainly with the Hall of Famer Javier Castellano, makes a lot of sense in here, but I wouldn't want to take too short of a number very early in the betting, and she's basically co-favored right now with the 1, Mi Amore, who probably is going to be lower than this morning line of 7-2 with Jose Ortiz getting aboard. He's a guy that a lot of people like to bet, and for right good reason, because he's having a very strong championship meet, and he might very soon be abreast with Paco Lopez for second in the standings. Mi Amore down inside, we can save some ground, has some tactical speed as well for Eniel Cordero, who next Saturday is going to be the youngest trainer to saddle a Florida Derby runner when he sends out Ladam Bro, who was runner-up in the Fountain of Youth. So there's your opener. Let's get to the early pick 4 in race number 2. Samantha has that ticket, and as I mentioned, she'll be with me a little bit later on this afternoon. She was catching up with Todd Pletcher this morning, who's going to send out the 2-year-old champion Fierceness in the Curlin, Florida Derby on the comeback trail. And here we go here. She's got a single just like, well, I've got Looking for Bargains on top as well. Tough to go by that one. 3 deep in race 3 and in race 4, and 2 deep in race number 5. With the 1 down on the inside, Melnick. Well, I put him in third. I'm a little bit against him. I'll show you that replay. In the 4, Rough Draft off the claim for Fernando Abreu and Powder Pop Racing, which has been a very fruitful angle. That's a $9 early pick 4 ticket for Samantha. I like these tickets that she sends out a lot because you can punch them a few times. I do the same with the late pick 4. But let's get back into the opening leg here. This is a good one. It's a maiden special weight on a firm turf course. We'll go a mile here. These are for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, and I don't think there's any doubt that the horse to beat is the 6, Looking for Bargain. The AEs are out. The 10, Risk Threshold, her favorite, who would have taken a lot of money, and the 11, the Long Shot La Fantasma, are both out of this race. Let's show you the return of the 6, Looking for Bargains last time. Now, this was her first start since a $75,000 maiden claimer at Saratoga on July 28th. She ran huge here for Chad Brown. We see the pink and yellow of Mike Dubb. She's going to be headed out for the win by Johanny, who was odds on in this race. And we'll actually see Johanny in a really good turf race on Saturday. Johanny up in time, but Looking for Bargains off the layoff. Does not want to give it up. A horse with recency that was odds on. Nails her on the line. This was a huge effort, and you know, Chad Brown does a good job of kind of reading his stock, and I didn't like her this day because I kind of said to myself, well, she was in for 75 at Saratoga. She's over her head today. No, not at all. She ran huge. Well, she's heck to pay now because obviously that race off that layoff was the standard, and there's no one in this field by any stretch of the imagination that has run close to a race like that. So I think Looking for Bargains is clearly the one to beat. But you can see I put the comebacker in second, and that is Justice Julia. What a pedigree here by Medaglia d'Oro out of the Grade 1 winner, Dreaming of Julia, who that female family on the bottom is huge. This is a Stone Street homebred. Didn't quite work out on debut in her lone start at Saratoga for Todd Pletcher. That was last summer now. We've been gone a long time. It was a muddy main track when she and her stablemate were 70 cents on the dollar. Well, we're back routing today, and I didn't really know what to make of it. Certainly there's no real turf on the bottom of this pedigree. I kind of wonder if maybe it's the 2 turns that Todd wants to get into this filly here. She's got good numbers for the turf. What we get today off the layoff, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure she's going to show speed. Off a dirt sprint, off a layoff, she's fresh. She chased on debut. And listen, we've seen it time and time again on a very fast and firm turf course here at Gulfstream Park. Speed plays. So I just wonder if maybe Johnny, the Hall of Famer, takes the initiative here. We have an alert beginning. You know she's got a tactical edge on the heavy favorite. And maybe Johnny tries to seal this as he's done so many times in a brilliant Hall of Fame career. So that's why I used her on the top line with the heavy favorite. The 4, Versify for Whisper Hill and Julie Stormfeld. I think getting back to the turf will help. She didn't quite like the Tapeta last time. She probably didn't like a 1.5 miles either. I'm not so sure she liked a 1 mile 3/8 when War Princess walked the dog 2 back and forgot to stop. I'm a Sure Thing came back to win. I don't know if she's this kind, though, so I'm going to use her underneath. Only a couple on the top line for me. Race number 3, we'll get back to the Tapeta at 1 mile 70 here. These are 12-5 claimers, fillies and mares 4 and up, which have never won 3 or a race since September 21st. And let's just bring up the replay, and we'll start right there because a Ring Thing, Nana Fanny, Cosi, and Runaway Breeze all ran. The gang's all here, obviously. Now, here's a Ring Thing down on the inside, trying to suss this out as your inside speed. And she got nagged quite a bit by the winner. Current Situation at 7-5 was always traveling better, was always sitting a better trip. I don't know about traveling better. That might not be this case, but she sat the better trip. When you are part of the speed, you always want to be outside. And to a Ring Thing's credit, at 6-1 with the 7-5 favorite, kind of breathing on her the entire way, I thought she ran pretty well to be second. I know this race held together. I get that, but to me, she's the one I want out of that race. Kosi, the one, never wins. The 4, Nana Fanny, got set up. She couldn't even make a dent late. She never wins either. You know, I'm looking at my page. I don't see a win for 2 years with her. Kosi, again, the losses are adding up, and that's why I like a ring thing here. The other thing, to me, it's perfectly clear she's not going to have to work as hard early as she did in that start. I don't see anybody running with her in a spot like this. So I think she's in a good spot. The Tapeta has played pretty speedy. I know it's better sprinting than routing, but I think a ring thing's in a good spot today. I'll just tab her for a very mild surprise because there's no doubt Lenny Cade is going to take a world of money here. She's only been on the Tapeta once at Gulfstream Park, well, all told, actually. Very, very good second. It was for 20 back in March of last year. Now she's off the claim for Fernando Abreu, who's been just doing absolutely nothing wrong during the championship meet. He's up to 27% off the claim, and we're back on the preferred or one of the preferred surfaces. Draw a line through the Belmont at Aqueduct dirt race. She's heck to pay in here with Jose Ortiz, who's, again, poised to have a day and poised to really make a run now at Paco Lopez. She's clearly the horse to beat. I wouldn't want to take too short of a number on her, but I think those are the two that are going to get you out of this race. And as I said at the start, I lopped off Nana Fanny. She just doesn't win. I'll go to battle with both the 2 and the 3 with a little, I think, better price on top with a ring thing. All right, 3 down on the 9-race Thursday card here. That means 6 to go. We'll take a short break. When we come back, Ron Nicoletti's Rainbow is front and center. And don't forget, that pool with an estimated $525,000 in the jackpot. Get involved and stay tuned. We'll be right back with you shortly.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau with you as we move on here on the 9-race Fast and Firm Thursday card. And as I said before we left, 525 in the estimated Rainbow, 6 today. And the pool's growing as we speak. And there was a single yesterday, so get involved. Let's take a look at Ronnie's ticket now. And as I mentioned, Ron will be back with us tomorrow. Now, he's got no single in here. It's still the 4320, but he's got no single. So that kind of tells you this could be a little bit of a tricky sequence. He's 3s and 2s deep in a spot like this. I mentioned that last race today is really, really strong. It's an optional claimer for the veterans on the turf, firm turf course. I've got my best bet in there, which Ronnie has. That is the 2 English B. He's got the speed of my Sea Cottage as well, who was awesome winning last time, and burning turf for Sandino Hernandez, who won a race yesterday. He'll be a nice price. He's going to pop him in there as well. 43.20, as I mentioned, it's a pretty difficult sequence. Not a lot of scratches and changes on this card. There is one, a long shot in race 4 here. The 2 Spanish Girl is out. We go 1.70 on the Tapeta. These are fillies and mares 3 and up. The tag is 12.5 in this spot, and we'll lead it off with my top pick. It is the 6 in here, and that is Take It South, off the claim for Bob Hess Jr. We haven't seen this daughter of Tonalist since August at Ellis Park. Bobby claimed her for 16 from Jeff Hiles, who I think is going to have a say in here as well. We haven't seen her, and so let's just be perfectly honest. I can guarantee you the plan wasn't to claim her for 16 and wait. It's 16 on August 1st and wait till March 21st. So something went amiss. We don't know what. With all that being said, she has worked very forwardly for this return. And I look at that February 25th drill on the Tapeta, 59 and 1. We see a lot of fast AM drills on the Tapeta. I get it, but She's done it a few times, actually. She did it on February 11th as well. She's only run over the local Topita one time. She didn't do that well, but that was in a maiden special weight. We're back today in a lot lower than that. It's not like he's giving her away. Claimed her for 16. She's in for 12.5. It is what it is, but I think take it south. This is a tote board race too. Make sure she's taking some money. Make sure she's around this 3-1. You don't want to look up and see her at 8-9-1 in there. That would not be a good sign. She looks live on paper. We'll see what she is on the tote board, and I'll put her on top in here. Shopping at Bloomie's is the 4 for Robbie Falcone. Boy, she was 80 cents on the dollar last time, and she got nagged on the lead. She went a little quick, but she gave it up pretty easily. Now, Starship Sugram ran well that day to win. They're probably going to come back to her. She's 2 on the line. I just don't want to take a short number on her. There is some other speed in here. I don't think they'll go as quick as they did last time, but I kind of feel like she's vulnerable. Robbie's won a Topita race at the meet, and he's a sharp young trainer. But, this is the type of horse I'm willing to fade, at least on the top line, because to me that race, both of her races, I thought she could have, I know she didn't run poorly, but I thought it was there for her to win, and she couldn't see it out, especially when you fail at 80 cents on the dollar. I'm a little leery on that. Battling Bubbles is interesting. I mentioned Jeff Hiles already. I want to take a look at a stat here for Jeff. We might not know him all that much here in South Florida. He was down here last winter as well, and he did some good things. And I found this stat. I wanted to bring it up here. He's pretty sharp in Topita routes. He's 23%. That's solid enough. Look at the ROI. It's pretty gaudy. And I think it fits with Battling Bubbles. I know she's 0 for 3 here and 0 for 5 all told on the Topita. But it looks to me like she's starting to round back into her better form. And when I say her better form, those were the races here last February of 2023 where she was a very good second in a couple solid races, relatively fast races at this kind of level. And she was third last time behind the runner-up came back to win. And I think just maybe now Jeff's got her going again a little bit, and that makes her a big threat in here. So I don't want to play a ticket without her as well to kick off this Rainbow Six in race 4. This is a little bit of a spread, and I'm going to use those 3. A quick mention to the 1, White Stark Winter. I don't know, 0 for 10 now. We've seen it time and time again. She has had trouble kind of kicking the door down. I don't know why it would be today. Further down my mix. Turf in race 5 on that firm turf course here. It's a starter optional claimer. These are 4-year-olds and up. It kicks off the late pick 5. We go 7.5. Another long shot scratch of the 3. Just in time for wine. Samantha should be with us at this point, but let's take a look at her late pick 5 ticket. She can talk about it a little bit later on. It's an $18 play for her here. She's got a couple prices to kick it off. I like that. Both of the 1 and the 4 will be prices. In race number 6, she's got the same 2 I have, the 4 and the 5. 3 deep in race number 7. You can see her picks there. Race number 8, I don't know if it's her best bet or not, but Wicked Memory off the reclaim for Marty Drexler is singled. And in race number 9, she'll go 3 deep, which includes my best bet, and that is the 2 English B on an $18 late 5 ticket for her. Let's get into this race now, as I've got this is a competitive race. I've got Border Town on top. I don't want to take too short of a number on Border Town. I know he's 0 for 4 on the Gulfstream Park turf course. I like the wood, but the only time you can see the turf race, and he's with Marty Drexler now. He was not with Marty on the turf here. I look at the 6 furlong race at Woodbine in October. It was a big win. Now, that was 6. We're going to 2 turns, 7.5 today. Don't look at your form and think this is a turf sprint. Okay, it is not. It's 2 turns today. I can't say that enough. Nobody hears me, but I can't say it enough. These are 2-turn races, so the stats are a little kind of meaningless when you see that. But I think this horse can stretch out a little bit. Marty, he got thrown to the wolves a little bit last time in a really good overnight handicap on Pegasus Day. I think Border Town is a huge threat in here. Wicked Finn is the 5. I don't know if they're going to bet this horse or not. They've obviously not bet this horse in the stakes races at Aqueduct in Monmouth. This is a massive drop for this horse, and I like the fact that Blake Kelly is going to run this horse in a spot where he can't be claimed, where he's not in for a tag. It shows some confidence by the barn as well. Couple replays to show you. Let's show Melnick, which is one on Samantha's list. Billy Therinos here got the W last time in a 25 starter. I don't want to take too much away from this horse, okay? But this was a bit of a meltdown race. Melnick is the 7, going to come into, look at how fast they're going early, okay? And watch Melnick now. You can't come up with a better trip than this horse had. Here comes the parting of the seas. He's going to scoot right up the rail. Kudos to Jose Ortiz for biding his time and waiting for it to open up, and it did. And kudos to Melnick for coming on through. That's the good part. The bad part is the horses that were 1-2 early were 5. The horses that were 1-2 early were 5-4 late. This was a meltdown race. Melnick got the run of the race. I don't want to take too much away from him. He ran very well. The point to me is you're never going to pull that trip again, I don't think. And, his margin for error is not a big one. And I know he's well drawn down on the inside. I want to see it right back, maybe less than optimal circumstances. There is some speed in here, I will say that, and it's certainly going to come from the 7, Sonio de Campione. I want to show you his last race. Now, Emirati, who ended up winning this race, was a stiff drop down for Mike Dubb and Chad Brown. He was 6-5 that day. He got it done. But boy, did Sonio de Campione run huge here. He's going 23. He's throwing in another 23 in one second quarter. And you think, you know what? He's 9-1. He's going to give it up. He fights tooth and nail with Emirati, who, to his credit in his class, got the job done. This was a big, big effort by Sonio de Campione. There's other speed today. There's speed right to his outside with the 8 fighter in the win. But if they let him go early and he can settle just a little bit, and Joe Bravo rode him last time, he's dangerous. And as I mentioned already, speed is playing on this turf course. His 2 turf races for Julie Stormfeld off the claim have been heady stuff, and he's kind of knocking the door down on a W. It wouldn't shock me at all if he gets it today. Late pick 4 kicks off in race number 6. Let's take a quick look at my ticket as we spent 5 on the Tapeta in this starter optional claimer. Just $12 for me. I'm going 54 here, David's Rose. Then we spread a little bit internally. The long shot is Sophster, the 5 in race 7. The spread is in race 8. I will put Ali Bear on top. I don't love her in this spot. That's why I'm going 4 deep. And in race 9, I've already mentioned my best bet. That is English B. It can't go any worse than it did for him last time. So let's get him today at second off the layoff for Graham Motion. So let's get back to the opening leg here. We've got a compact field of 6, sprinting 5 on the Tapeta. It's a little bit of a post position race for me. I like the post for David's Rose being outside the heavy favorite, and that is the 4 Admiral Hopper. And that's simply how I'm going to play it. I mean, if Admiral Hopper is the horse to beat and she's the horse to catch, and she is faster than David's Rose, but this is a big coup for David's Rose being outside, because off that good second last time at this kind of level, I think it puts her in the right spot. And as good as Admiral Hopper was last time, running a huge figure when she dipped down in for a quarter, nobody claimed her. That was very, very surprising. And she is the one to beat. She's 3 for 4 on the main track. Like I said, post position in these kind of spots can play. And the fact that Admiral Hopper is down on the inside, taking all the worst of it from an outside pressing David's Rose, that's why I put him on top. Speed plays sprinting on the Tapeta. You can say maybe it melts down because they're both going to be flying early. But how many times have we seen it in these Tapeta sprints where it doesn't even matter how fast they go early? They're just too good. They bottom out the field on the far turn and nobody runs on, and that's how I'm going to play it. Nike Can is a fade for me. She's had trips, and when I say trips, she's had good beneficial trips in her last several races. Only 1 have resulted in a win. She's got a lot of second and third itis. You can see it there. She's run 6. Her last 6 races, 1 win, 5 underneath finishes. That's not the type of horse I want to go to the window on. And with Jose Delgado and Bruno Schickendas here, you're going to take an underlaid price as well. So I'll fade her a little bit. I'll use her underneath. Race 7, late pick 3 time here. And we're back on the Tapeta, 5.5 furlongs here in a starter optional claimer. We have a scratch here of the 4 Sweet Miss. I didn't really have her in the mix in here. She was 8-1 in here. This is my long shot. And, you know, Sophster, the 5, has never run on an all-weather surface and certainly has never run here on the Tapeta at Gulfstream Park. But she woke up in her last start. And when I say woke up, with a big figure. She was at Tampa running against much lesser. She broke her maiden for 12-5, 2 back for Colin Mirage. And he sends her at Gulfstream, when she came over here. And last time when she was in for 16-2L, she really stepped up her game. I didn't like her in that spot. She's, you know, the buyers are they are what they are. I want to use them as a point of reference here, though, okay? She ran a 43 to break her maiden 2 back. She runs a 62 last time. She moved forward in a big way, and she was facing winners. That can be a rude awakening. Now, again, I know she's never run on the Tapeta, but Samantha uses this angle all the time. She used it for a 5-1 winner in the opener, and that is a horse in form trying a new surface. And that's what you get with Sophster. There's nobody in here to be scared of. I'll talk about a couple of them in a second. They're okay, but, you know, she's not out of her element in this. The Mirages can be very crafty, and if she's in here on the Tapeta, I think she's a player. She's my long shot. The 8, My Wife Knows It All, was a debut winner for Hernandez. They bet her that day. I like this post position for her. She's certainly a threat back, much like Sophster, while the 8 faces winners too. Again, who are you supposed to be scared of in here? I want to show you Devil at Midnight and Party Shaker. They ran 2-3 against each other on February 21st. Devil at Midnight's kind of been dueling the entire way. She's got speed. Party Shaker was off the claim for Muhammad Jaludi. She ran fine. I don't want to knock her. She moved forward in a big, big way. She was 20-1. She kind of got the run of the race, and I don't really know if I like this effort because it was so far above and beyond anything she's ever done on paper. Now, credit to the barn for getting a big figure move forward, but I'm a little more apt to make her prove it today. Devil at Midnight, who was my best bet that day, on the dot, they just went ballistic on the tote board, and she got it done. So credit to her. Devil at Midnight is once again going to have to run very, very hard, and I'm a little bit against her. I like My Wife Knows It All a little bit better, especially being outside the other speed. Late double kicks off in race number 8. We will route 1.70 miles on the Tapeta. For fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, it's a 50 starter allowance. It's a good compact group of 7 in here. You know, I mentioned Allie Bayer. I put her on top. I don't love her, but I did think her Tapeta race 3 back was pretty good because that was off almost a 13-month layoff. And she was kind of up against it, but she ran pretty well. It was her only start on Tapeta, too, so there's no reason why she can't build off that and get back to it, and that's probably good enough. Now, with that being said, her margin for error is not much at all. That's why I went 4 deep in here. The 5, Miscreant for Phil Serpe. The only start on the Tapeta was a winning one. It was back in March of last year. I don't know what we're going to get today, a little bit of a freshening as well that she comes in off of, but it's right there in front of you, and I think she could fall through the wagering cracks a little bit. The 2, Queen Maca. I want to show you a stat on Carlos Perez because this is a pretty good one for the barn, you know. 15% in Tapeta routes. The ROI is not pretty. Now, they bet this horse 6-5 and 70 cents on the dollar. 6-5 at this level, 2 back. Easily draw a line through the turf race last time. You can see her form comes into focus. I think she's the horse to beat. They tend to bet her, so they'll probably bet her again today. Even if Allie Bear is the favorite, point being, I don't want to take too short of a number on Queen Maca. She's 2 for 19. I don't know. She's 1 for 10 on the Tapeta, 7 underneath finishes. I don't like those kind of ledgers, you know, when horses are running second and third a lot more than when they're winning. Wicked Memory, we're going to get Samantha out here a little bit later. She's her single in the late 5. Maybe she's got her as the best bet. We'll figure it out here in the lightning round in a second. I believe she is. We're on the reclaim for Marty Drexler. He did good things with her at Woodbine. I don't know. We'll see what we get today. She is 2 for 2 in the exacta, but this is a much better group than the one she beat for 20 2 back, and I will mention that. The finale, boy, the best for last. It is a good one. It's the feature. We go 7.5 on a firm turf course. These are the veterans here, 4-year-olds and up. It's a 2X or 6250. Long shot scratch of the 8. Determinedly, as I mentioned, Pete Aiello doesn't have a lot to do today. We like that in terms of scratches and changes. I want to show you English B's comeback here last time. He was fractious at the gate, and that proved at the start too, because this is, this is kind of sort of a there off you lose type of trip. Right there, he's going to spot him. He's the 5. He's going to check out of it here shortly. And I just, there we go. Thank you, Bob. Checking back. He was right where he wanted to be, and then he's going to lose about 5 lengths. And, again, I can't say it enough on this turf course time and time again. And this is J.P. Hellish, who's Samantha's long shot. I picked J.P. Hellish. I don't know. I thought he should have run better. This is not trouble to me. It didn't cost him. I know some people might pick up on that. I don't know. He did run on a little bit late. Quality G all of a sudden is a superstar with Bob LaPenta and Todd. We're going to see him in the stakes very likely in the stakes on Curlin, Florida Derby Day. I'm a little against J.P. Hellish in here. I'm going to come back to English B. He's my best bet. Samantha's long shot. She's probably going to get value with J.P. Hellish, and he's run very good in 2 starts off the turf. But the class of English B is what plays to me. He was favored that day. That was the Fountain of Youth turf stakes, first turf race, and he was favored that day off an October layoff. So they liked him. I just don't think he got a fair go of it. Graham Motion's got him back here. We're second off. He's not in for a tag, and this is a group he's supposed to handle. J.P. Hellish underneath. Roos is a horse. The other thing I want to mention, too, there is so much speed in this race. It's another reason why I love English B. My Sea Cottage ran unfathomably a hole in the wind last time. He's going from down inside. Stat, we know him so well, doesn't let anybody get away early. American Speed's got some of it towards the outside. They're going to be flying early on. It's got to fall apart to me. It's another reason why I like English B in the nightcap. Roos will run. He's going to be a price, and he's got a new running style from a little bit off the pace, and that could benefit him today for Timmy Hills. So there is your 9-pack here on a fast and firm day at Gulfstream Park. Of course, the Tapeta as well. Before we leave you, let's take a quick look at the lightning round. And this is going to be Saturday, and this is pretty cool. We've got the jockeys poster that you can support a great cause. We do this with the bobbleheads. $10 donation to the Jockey Fund, and you can get this in the breezeway here. You can see our absolutely world-class jockeys here at Gulfstream Park. I mean, who's better? Look at this group. We've got Hall of Famers there. We've got future Hall of Famers as well. We've got a lot of some European imports came over this year and acquitted themselves. You can see David Egan there as well. And this is cool. Support the cause. We got to mention Victor as well. All in charge there. We see Victor as well. $10 donation to the Jockeys Fund. That's Saturday at the Breezeway. We know that so well, from 11 to 2 o'clock p.m. Next, the Derby hat. Curlin, Florida Derby on March 30th. A 10-race stakes card. Wager $50 and be eligible for this cool hat now. Florida Derby hat giveaway. So get involved in that. There are details on the website. A lot of other promotions too. As well. We talked about the best bet. Mine today, all the way in that turf finale. The feature in race number 9 at about 5:10 in the p.m. is a good one. I am on the 2 English B, and let's dispel the myth and crack open the mystery here. Samantha's best bet. Is it? Okay, no, it's Spirit of Victory in race number 1. Okay, that's coming up shortly. She also has a single in race number 7 to Wicked Mercury. That's race number 8, But her actual best bet is in the opener. My long shot today is on the Tapeta, and that is in race 7 to the 5 Softster. And let's see where Samantha's going as well. In race number 9, J.P. Hellish. We showed you he was in the same race that English B was in as well. So that is the 9-pack here at Gulfstream Park. We are happy to have you aboard. 23 minutes to the opener. I'm going to send it upstairs to Pete Aiello. I'll sign off now. And best of luck. Samantha will be out with me shortly. We'll see you in a bit for the opener.